She's come back with a kind of vengeance of this amazing, incredible suit that's made out of rubber.
There's some big threat out there, and you are gonna help me stop it.
Wait, us?
Yeah, you. Why, you got someplace to be?
I love that guy.
Welcome to Miami. Congratulations. The movie was so enjoyable. But before we jump in, I gotta tell you a funny anecdote. Last night at the movie screening, you know, in Miami, it gets to be a little bit more outspoken. And I like to see the reactions of people. You know, it's very enjoyable to see how they're receiving each movie. And with your character's transition, I could hear a lot of people going like, Robertico, dale Robertico, dale Robert.
No way.
No, Robert. So, you know, it was kind of perfect and hilarious. You have a rebrand now in Miami. Bob is now Robertico.
Oh, I love that.
So that was hilarious. I wanted to ask you, what moment or scene or process throughout the journey it kind of landed that, okay, this is where the character is landing emotionally, or the weight of that journey, emotional journey?
I think, I mean, for Ghost, I mean, she comes in very much a stubborn mule in a sense where she's got her guard up. She doesn't play well with others. She's alone. She doesn't trust anyone. She doesn't want to be trusted either with any responsibility of that. And I think what she fights within herself is actually that actually accepting the idea of herself wanting love and a family, that idea of friendship, that idea of a team, and that journey of her actually kind of forgiving herself and forgiving the idea of wanting to be a hero with the people that she actually is very, very much fond of.
Do you want to add something in your characters? Is there a moment, or perhaps just during the filming, you know, maybe on the makeup room?
Yeah. I think it was like throughout the process as a whole, like kind of going into this character who's very much like shouldering like there's the weight of like an elephant of grief, you know, on his shoulders, and kind of try not to play into that too much. And when I realized that like oftentimes how that looks is so different from how it feels, and oftentimes people are trying their very best to not seem like they're feeling what they're feeling, you know, and people get pretty good at building up those defense mechanisms. And once I kind of like started integrating that into the character, I kind of reflected on myself as a kid and going through that, and how I would smile through a lot of stuff and wouldn't, you know, talk about things as much as I wished I had.
Interesting. What about, I mean, your character, Mel, also kind of have that moment where it says what's right and what's wrong, and it also brings a grounded energy to this complexity of the team. How does it feel to bring that kind of energy and kind of humor as well, humor moments?
Yeah, I feel like, she's sort of on the outside, figuring out where she stands in this world of, you know, power that Valentina is controlling. For me, there's a scene where Valentina says to Mel, righteousness without power is just an opinion. And to me, that felt like the crux. To me, that's where it kind of landed emotionally, and I felt like it's really interesting to watch two women on screen talking about power, and that's really kind of encapsulates Mel's inner struggle of like how to be a moral person in this world.
But I do know that there was like a space of time, like I believe it was like 7 years where we don't see Ghost. So do you think that Ghost started that healing process previously to get into this moment? Or how do you see, like, do you create a storyline in your head when you get into set before shooting this movie?
Absolutely. I mean, where we left her was very much in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Janet Pym has just healed her in a way where she's got her powers, but she's not got her pain anymore, which I think is the most powerful, position that Ghost has been in. And we hadn't seen what she's been doing with that or how she's harnessed that in herself. Because also as well, with Lawrence Fishburne's character, Bill Foster, he's trying to help her at the end, and she's kind of just saying, get away from me. I just hurt people. She's come back with a kind of vengeance of this amazing, incredible suit that's made out of rubber. Oh, get over yourself.
out of my way.
Yeah, she's a tough warrior version of herself, which I think is really, a very fun place to go from the kind of girl that was flickering out of control and that naivety and immaturity that we had in Ant-Man and the Wasp to this woman that is now in control of her body and her power.
And I think there were many transformations. We could see definitely Robertico, Bob. You know, we could see this calm presence and then this chaotic, indestructible. How did you embrace that duality? Again, coming back to your personal journey into bringing yourself into the character. Like, how do you embrace that duality? Did you face yourself that duality in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was, in many ways, the process kind of reflected the character in bizarre ways that I kept discovering. Like, I don't know if Geraldine, you felt this way, but like coming in, we were both the new, you know, guns on this one, and like I had a lot of imposter syndrome, and Bob Robertico has and so every day it depends on how you wake up. I wake up certain days being like I can do this. I feel like, you know, I can help and I have something to offer here, and then other days where I'm like, yeah, they're gonna call me out and they're gonna see that I'm a fraud. And like Bob has that, you know, and he oscillates, but his go from like minute to minute, second to second, and so kind of leaning into that and like sitting with it and not judging it, and then kind of like inserting it into the character was like really informative for me.
So to wrap it up, before I leave, I felt this was kind of a therapy session, a therapeutic new movie in a way. Yeah. So if all the Thunderbolts, including a male in the group, they would go to a therapy retreat, who would you think would leave the retreat? Who would you think would do the real emotional work? And who would lead the sessions?
Oh my gosh, excellent question.
Alexi's leading the sessions, I think.
I thought he would leave.
I thought Bucky would leave.
No, I think Bucky would leave, and I think that Lexi would definitely lead the sessions because he's very much like proactive with us. You know, he's a very, very wants us all to kind of find the love and unity of us. So I think he'd probably leave the sessions. You're right about Bucky. I think leave.
Yeah, he's been alive for so long. He's either been to therapy and realized he doesn't need it anymore, or been like from an age where it was like therapy isn't real, it doesn't work or something.
He's done it all.
Wow.
He's done it all. And then what was the last part?
Well, lead the sessions, lead first, and who would do the emotional work? Last one.
Ooh.
I think we would all pull ourselves together and push each other.
Collectively, I love that.
Group therapy.
Yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations again, and thank you for coming down and chatting with us.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.